Felicidades a todos los padres, madres, abuelos, abuelitas que están aquí. Este logro, tal como el logro de sus hijos, es el logro de ustedes. Felicidades. I'd like to thank La Raza de Loyola, their board, their co-presidents, Ramona Sandoval and Gabriela Perez, and in particular, graduation co-chairs Melissa Diaz and Talia Acosta, for inviting me to be here today. It's such an honor for me to have been invited to speak at this monumental day with you. Thank you for sharing your special day with me. Now, Loyola Law School class of 2022, you did it. You did it. Congratulations. What you've done is extraordinary and unequivocally worthy of celebration. So look around you, soak it in, and be proud of your accomplishment. Today, it's no longer a dream, it's reality. And it's your reality. And so I want to do something as we get started. I'm going to ask every single graduating student to please stand up right where you are. Just stand up, please. Every single one of you. And we're going to give them a nice round of applause. In celebration of your moment. You can have a seat. Congratulations. Now listen, you've accomplished something that such a small percentage of people accomplish. Yet as I look out at all of you, what is most exciting, what is most thrilling about all this, and what you have accomplished to this point is that you're just getting started. And that should fill you with such excitement and anticipation for what greatness the future holds for you. And so in the midst of all of your celebrations, I want to lend something of a different voice. Today, law school graduates, I want to challenge you. Set aside for a moment everything you thought you knew and all the goals that you've had, and recalibrate your expectations for yourself. Today, as you sit here with your family in this celebration, today you display to others what you have always known, or perhaps just recently discovered yourself. That you are capable, that you're capable of so much more. Your potential is limitless. And so today, I challenge you to do more. I challenge you to be more. I challenge you to create something beautiful in this life such that the world was a better place because you lived in it. And to that end, I'd like to share with you some lessons that I learned from my father, who is one of the most important figures along with my mother in my life. I'm going to share with you 4 of his sayings that have shaped me in my personal life and in my professional life. And applying these lessons to my life has set the course for my trajectory. In particular, they've guided me in my transition from law school to associate attorney, from associate to managing attorney, and from managing attorney to my own firm. And my hope is that they will also serve you as a guide. And may they lead you to even greater successes, such that my own pale in comparison to yours. Lesson number 1. Trabaja como el empleado que te gustaría tener en el futuro. Work like the employee or the team member that you would like to have in the future. Now, what does this mean? As newly minted attorneys, it means be early, stay late. When there's an opportunity to go the extra mile, go for 2. Always be prepared, and quite frankly, be more prepared than anybody else. Take note of what and why things are done, and always seek to anticipate the needs of your boss, how they like the work done, and then work to make their lives easier and more efficient. Bring yourself to care about your boss's success, about your firm's success. Remove yourself from the equation momentarily and put someone else, something else before you. Be the team member that you would like to have on your team in the future. In one word, be selfless. And when you begin to practice this lesson, you begin your journey to understanding what it is to be an attorney. Look, You're all entering such a noble profession. And despite all the glitz, the glamour, and prestige that typically is associated with being an attorney, and let's be honest, just by being an attorney, you've given your parents so much ammo at any family gatherings and any time they go out. They will never stop talking about how proud of you they are to anybody that will listen. Despite all that, what is at the core of being an attorney is selflessness. It's about your clients. It's about the disempowered, the voiceless, those in need. They matter the most, not you, not us. Adopt an attitude of ownership. That is, act as if you have an ownership stake in the success of your firm or your workplace. You see, a business owner doesn't need anyone telling them that they need to be there early or stay late. They just do it. They don't need anyone to tell them to go to the extra mile. They gladly go 3. Why? Because they're invested in the success of their business. And if you adopt an ownership mentality, you will become more invested in the success of your firm than your own. You will do more because you care more. And in so doing, as a natural byproduct of your selflessness, you will become indispensable as you sharpen your legal skills, advocacy skills, and your leadership skills. And your hard work, dedication, passion, and selflessness will shine forth as light piercing the darkness. One more thing on being the team member that you'd like to have in the future. Celebrate the achievements of others and do not be threatened when others do well. There's more than enough success in this world for all of us. Your time will come many times over. Take the success of others for what it is, an example of what is possible, and be inspired by it. Don't worry about what others are doing, and just as importantly, what they're not doing. As you begin your career, you may see, and likely have already seen, that some people get positions and promotions simply because they have connections that you don't. I want to encourage you not to despise them for it, and at the very least, don't let it discourage you. Know this, you will also be able to reach those heights and more. And your journey will make you better, stronger, and more equipped for those heights. And by the way, be nice to those kids with those connections. Not to curry favor or anything like that, but because I'm certain each one of you is destined for greatness. And so one day, those kids with connections will be your children, your grandchildren. So treat those people with the kindness you will want others to treat your future generations. Lesson number 2. Recuérdate quién eres y de dónde vienes. Remember who you are and where you come from. Who are you? Who are we? My parents had me when they were 20 and 18 years old. They were quite literally children raising a child. And they came to the US from Guatemala 2 years later with a 2-year-old in tow and nothing in their possession but love and a dream for that child. A dream for a better life. And their dream, once alive, led to action, creating and fueling an unrivaled work ethic that would change the course of our family's history. I imagine my parents' story is very much like the story of your parents and your grandparents. Love, a dream, and an unsurpassed work ethic. This is the immigrant spirit. So who are we? We're children of immigrants. And where do we come from? We come from the line of the hardest working people alive. Do not ever forget that. And you have that same immigrant spirit, that work ethic, that drive. Carry that with you at all times, everywhere you go. Not as a chip on your shoulder, not as a burden, not as a shame, not as something weighing you down or something that you have to drag with you everywhere you go. Rather, carry it as a badge of honor. Your immigrant spirit will grant you access to places and spheres of influence which were previously closed to your grandparents, to your parents, and at one point to you. That spirit will set you apart from everyone else. The truth is that life, as you knew it growing up, will never be the same. There will be comforts in life that you will have which no one in your family has previously experienced. In many respects, life will seem easier. And look, our parents spent their lives under the blazing sun in the field, on construction sites, swap meets, sweatshops, restaurants, busing, cleaning homes without food, little to no water, porta potties if they were lucky, and no rights whatsoever. You will work in beautiful, air-conditioned offices with cold-filtered water, iced latte every morning, and all the gluten-free, dairy-free, keto-friendly snacks your heart desires. But like any muscle in the human body, if it is not regularly exercised, if it is not regularly put to use, it can atrophy and can be rendered too weak to put into use when needed or at a moment's notice. So whether life is going smoothly or you are facing one of the most difficult and daunting periods of your life, nurture that spirit, that love, that dream, that work ethic. Never forget the image of your father, your mother. Perhaps it was your grandfather, grandmother, or your older brother or sister. Never forget the image of them coming home late, tired, sleepy, exhausted, utterly exhausted, in physical pain. And if yours or anything like mine, rubbing Bengay, icy hot, biofreeze all over their bodies to deal with all the aches and pains, and never, ever visiting a doctor. And yet, waking up before sunup to do it all over again the next day, and the day after that, the week after that, the month after that, the years and the decades after. May their love, sacrifice, and hard work inspire you to greater heights, and may your reciprocal gratitude, love, and hard work inspire your future generations to even more. That immigrant spirit, the work ethic, the dream, is something we saw and learned from our parents. It is part of your DNA, ingrained in our culture. Now, I challenge you to bring it into the legal world. And when you do, they won't know what hit them. One last thing on your parents and loved ones. It seems impossible to believe, but when you begin practice, you will be even busier than you were in law school. Still, nurture the relationships with your family. Make time for them, even if that means putting it on your calendar every month. Make time for them. I think I speak for all of us when I say that they are our why. And that is what matters most in life. If we gain the whole world but lose them in the process, or fail to enjoy it all with them, it will all have been for naught. Moving on to the next lesson. When I was in college, there was a period where I was feeling a bit aimless, as if I was simply going through the motions. At the time, I was commuting to school 3 hours each way. I would take the train for an hour, subway for 45 minutes, bus for another 45, and walk the last 30 minutes. At the time, I was also undocumented, and this was before DACA. So I was going to college, but realistically, the only place that I was going to work after graduation was with my dad back in construction. And I'll be honest, I wasn't too thrilled about the prospect of doing that with a bachelor's degree in my back pocket. My father, sensing all of this, delivered to me what I believe to be one of his best lines ever, completely original. He turned my world upside down, inside out. It was simple, yet full of so much wisdom. It was short, yet its impact has guided me like a lighthouse since that time, and will continue to do so for the rest of my life. Lesson number 3, donde quiera que estés, sé contento, pero nunca satisfecho. Wherever you are, be happy, but never satisfied. Be happy, but never satisfied. It sounds strange, doesn't it? Because living as if the grass is always greener on the other side leads to feeling envious, unfulfilled, and generally unhappy, right? If we're never satisfied, won't we miss the things that are right in front of us and fail to recognize the good times until long after they're gone? And who wants to live like that? But see, that was the wisdom in his words. Wherever you are, be happy. That means be happy. Take stock of what is going on in your life, what you have, what you get to do for a living, what things you have overcome, where you live, and be happy for all of that. Yes, you may want more, but this is what's here today, so be grateful. Live with a heart of gratitude. Take time to enjoy what you have, what you get to do, and where you get to do it. And yet, while you're happy with where you are, never be satisfied. Meaning, be happy, but never ever stop dreaming. Set your goals high, write them down, and pursue them with all you have. In fact, I want to encourage you to set goals so seemingly impossibly high, that at first blush you would feel uncomfortable sharing it with others. Because not until you have set for yourself a bar that makes you nervous have you really set a goal that will challenge you and so be worth pursuing. And while you're setting goals, keep our prior lessons in mind. That is, make sure your dreams are big enough to include others, not just yourself. There's this movie entitled 10,000 BC, set in prehistoric times, and it has a wonderful quote that brings this point home, and I want to share it with you. In this particular scene, our protagonist is faced with a choice of looking out for himself or protecting his entire tribe. His caring uncle sits down next to him and says the following: "A good man draws a circle around himself and cares for those within, his woman, his children. Other men draw a larger circle and bring within their brothers and sisters. But some men have a great destiny. They must draw around themselves a circle that includes many, many more." I believe each and every one of you is a person of great destiny. But you must decide for yourself whether you are as well. Draw as large a circle as possible. Give back to others. And it's not just about money. Give your time, advice, caring, mentor somebody. Encourage somebody who needs it. Be a friend. Be a trailblazer without ever expecting anything in return. Open the doors for others that were closed to you early on. Gladly let others be blessed through the circle you have created. And since I mentioned money, let me briefly say this. Money is not success, and success is not money. Do not be taken by the rhetoric. Money is just a piece of equipment. You all know now that my father's in construction, so let me give you a construction analogy. When building a house, the point is to build a house. I know, very shocking. The point is to build a house. No one ever goes into a building project with the all-consuming goal of acquiring as many nails as possible. Alone, nails are nothing, can do nothing, and add no worth to me. They're useful to building my vision of what the house will look like, but the goal is the house, not the nails. And by the way, some houses are made out of brick and other materials, so nails can be worthless. My point is this: don't be consumed with the desire to hoard nails, money. Rather, envision your home, the dream, and build towards your home, your dream. And make sure that you build a home big enough to house you, your loved ones, those in your proximity, and your community. And lastly, lesson number 4. Dale honra al que merece honra. Give honor to whom honor is due. Now, acknowledging that someone deserves praise, deserves your recognition, deserves honor is not a show of weakness on your part. It's a show of strength, a show of self-confidence, of maturity. And as I look out, I see people who deserve recognition. I see people who deserve honor. I see people who are worthy of public acknowledgement. And so, class of 2022, on this day of joy and celebration, where all the attention has appropriately been given to you, we will take a moment to acknowledge and honor those people that deserve your recognition, that deserve their moment in the spotlight. And so at this time, I will ask all the parents in attendance, grandparents, all the family members, loved ones that have joined your student today, to please stand up. In class of 2022, as loud as you can, why don't you give them a big, well-deserved round of applause and thank them. I think we can do a little louder than that. Congratulations, felicidades, thank you for your time, and God bless you.